Joe Hughes, National Truck Club, with Kathryn Schifferle, President and CEO of Work Truck Solutions. I wish we were meeting in Indianapolis, but what the heck? I guess we're going to have to just meet here virtually. Looks like you're back somewhere in the United States from looking behind you there. But tell us if we had a show and we're able to meet personally, what would we have been talking about with Work Truck Solution and Comvoy this year?
Joe, it's been a very interesting year, of course. Not even just 2021, but 2020 since we saw you last, right?
Right.
And I think that, from just a broad perspective for Work Truck Solutions, it was a big year for us. As you know, because we've known each other for a long time, one of the bigger challenges in working with dealers who we love, understanding that digital is an important new thing and that digital is here to help and that it's not scary, has been tough. 8 years of holding hands and helping bring people into the future. But last year, it became critical. We, as a team, contacted every single one of our dealerships and talked with them about their specific situation. Some were in tougher situations than others. Some couldn't sell, some could, some got booms because the state next to them couldn't sell. And we worked with every single one of them to kind of surface what they needed. We added information to their website that helped them communicate to their customers what their status was. And it just kind of really did two things. It helped us lean in. It helped our team really know how critical and important they are in the dealers' lives. And it did the same thing for the dealers. And so I think at the end of the year, we found that we had cut our attrition, our dealer leaving, in more than half, because they started really recognizing the importance of digital, and they also saw how committed that we are to their success. I think one of the other things that you'll appreciate is that happened last year. How challenging it can be sometimes with the dealership management to talk about how important commercial is. Everybody, for the first time, became familiar with what essential businesses are and how critical they are to the economy, and to the dealership's opportunities. So we really saw kind of a forward motion in engagement with our dealers' commercial departments. We found a forward motion and recognition of importance of commercial as a part of the dealer's business with the general managers and the dealer principals. We also started thinking through in advance what was going to be happening moving forward, right? We all knew at the time that inventory was going to be a big issue. You remember a couple of years ago, there was a dip in inventory with OEMs struggling because of the fire in Mexico for Ford, and GM had gotten out of sync with their change in their model year, and Ram had some parts problems. And so I think it was 2018, there was just struggles. And so we went through some iterations then on what we would do as a company to help dealers. And so back in March of last year, in 2020, I said, this is going to be a bigger issue for 2021. And of course, now we find ourselves not only in the trying to recover from what happened in 2020 with manufacturing, but new challenges with shortages and just demand. Towards the end of last year, we had actually recognized an approach that we could take. So, by the way, Joe, you're going to be the first one to hear this news.
All right, lay it on me.
We started working on a way on the back end of our tools. So our dealers have access on the back end to look at what we call dealer trade, right? And the network. So they've used that to locate vehicles and have conversations with other dealers and even help each other out with showing each other's inventory to expand that. But this time we knew that wasn't going to be enough, right? Because dealers everywhere were going to be hit. So starting in the last quarter of last year, we took some tools that we had built and we started piloting with a partner. Is there a way that we can bring remarketed inventory from companies into the back end so that dealers could wholesale purchase inventory. And we started with a company called Flex Fleet. They are a rental company that rents Ford pickups, flatbeds, and some service bodies to construction companies when they scale up and then they have to scale down. And so we started, they're also part owned by the Penske Investment Group. So, and the guy there is really sharp. He came from remarketing at Hertz, and we've been working with them. And in early this year, we started testing it with a couple of dealers, and we launched it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we're going to announce it upcoming in a few weeks. That's just the toe in the water. That was to build the technology to allow us to do this, but we already have queued up other partners, whether they're fleets, fleet management companies, rental companies, auctions, finance companies that have to take inventory back. That's what we're going for, to make this a much easier way for dealers to find and access reasonably good quality remarketed commercial inventory. And we all know
that is excellent. That's so good.
You know this because you've been at it for a while. There aren't a lot of good trade-ins, right? I mean, people just they use them up.
Yep.
And so that was our goal. We're excited. We think we'll get lots of good feedback from dealers. And as a result of what we've built and that we're launching, we're also looking now to kind of leverage into bringing in a bailment pool inventory, because that's another way that we can help dealers be more efficient in finding inventory. So I'm going to tell you the big announcement. We've kind of changed our terminology internally, and we're announcing this new tool, which we call VAST, and it stands for Vehicle Acquisition Search Tool. Excited to let the National Ford Truck Club and Ford Pros Magazine have the first media announcement about that launch.
Will you let me have it first and then tell everybody else about it in a couple of months? Come on, Kathryn.
Yeah, I can give you a couple of weeks. How's that?
All right, I'll take it. So, that's great. I love the concept, because so often I'll have a construction company, to your point, they have a new job, and it's going to run them a year, or it's going to run them 6 months, and then they don't know that they're going to need the vehicle. So on the one hand, they need it now, and then 6 months from now, they need to find another home for it. All right, Kathryn. Well, thanks again for taking the time, and appreciate your sponsorship and your support of the club. And
we know how important it is, and how much the dealers and the industry depend on the club. So
appreciate that. Take care, Kathryn. Bye-bye.